Hello, Brian Pierce, the Pierce Brothers, and today going to do something a little unusual. I'm going to talk about my dog Curly. You guys have made a lot of comments with some of the dogs in our videos in the past, and so I just thought I'm going to introduce you to my dog Curly. So he's my son Porter owns his mother, and she's Australian Shepherd with a little bit of Australian Cow Dog. I'm not sure the ratio. But she's an outstanding dog. When he bought her as a puppy and brought her home, I watched her grow up, and I thought, man, she's an incredible dog. She's tough as nails. I got it. If you watch one of our campfire videos, she's in a couple of those. She's a brown dog with white markings, and she's a real character. Way too smart for her own good. And I'll tell you a little story about her. When she was about 5 or 6 months old, I was in town one day, and I had to call my son Porter and ask him to do some evening chores. I wasn't home yet. And he says, well, let us finish sewing up Squaw here. That's her name. And actually, I call her Tasmanian Devil for short, or Tazzy for short. But anyway, I said, why? What happened to her? And he goes, well, she got into a fight with a beaver. Now, beavers in our country are like, big ones will be 50 pounds. And she has one gear, and it's forward, and it's full throttle. So she gets in the fight with this beaver. Instead of kind of being a little finesse and a little self-preservation, she just ties into it. Well, the thing bites her by the throat and cuts her throat. And she's still only a pup. She's literally 5 or 6 months old is all. But that's just her nature. She's just on things, and she's a wonderful cow dog. I remember watching her when she was about 1.5 years old. We were working cattle one day. We were pushing them, and she had a herd quitter, and so she tied into her a little bit, and that cow just timed everything just right and kicked her. And I mean, she went for a loop like that. I mean, loop after loop landed, and man, she came up, and she had blood in her eyes. She took off after that cow, and she ran that cow all the way through the other side of the herd, just biting her. And when she was finally running her through the other side of the herd, to the front, when she was done, she just quit and trotted the back and then worked cattle just like nothing ever happened. But she's tough as nails. So I wanted a pup out of her really bad. And I had her first litter that she had, I got a pup out of him named Colt. And he was about 10 months old, and I believe he caught parvo. And by the time he got sick until he died, I mean, I tried to give him the vet couldn't save him. He was an incredibly smart dog. He'd watch anything you do, and he could mimic it. He would repeatedly, like you'd go inside the house, he'd just jump up and take both paws and just do that to the doorknob and push it open. And I'm not making it up. He'd just do it as he wanted. He'd just reach up and turn the doorknob and walk in the house. He was a really good dog. Anyway, I felt really bad I lost him. He was a good dog. And so I was feeling pretty blue, and Taz was pregnant with another litter. And I said, put me down. I want first pick. So this is where the story kind of gets funny. The pups got to be about 9. Well, there's 9 pups in the litter, and they got to be about 7 weeks old, ready to wean, and they were all marked the same, black and white. And so I'd watch them and see which ones were most, just their nature. And it's hard to tell at that age, but I'd watch their nature real close and watched them real close. And there were several good pups in there, really good pups. So I took a big stainless bowl about yay big, and I poured it with milk. And boy, all the pups gathered right around. Were just lapping it up like crazy. I didn't let them drink but a second, literally, and I walked away. And 3 times in a row, Curly is the one that followed me. And even though he wanted to drink milk, he'd rather have been with me. And that was like, oh, okay, Curly. So in describing which pup I wanted, them say we're going to sell the pups, I said, Curly, get up here. I said, I want the one that's got curly hair right here on his neck, and because the others were pretty straight, and he had lots of curls going there. And so I said, the one with curly hair. Well, Curly just stuck, and he's been a wonderful dog. He loves to be with me no matter what. He sticks with me no matter what. If I want to torture him, I leave him at home. And I'll tell you a couple of stories about him. When he was, and this is important for later in the video, when he was about 10 months old when I start to work him on cattle typically. Oh, and by the way, he's bigger than he looks in the video. He's very heavy boned and tough as nails, but he 2 years old, we weighed him, he's 81 pounds. And he's not fat. He's furry, but he's not fat. And I suspect he probably has matured out about 85 pounds is where he's at. And it's twice as big as he should have been. He should have been a 50-pounder, but he just, I guess I should have called him Elf, but he's just a big, strong, powerful dog. But first time I took him out, the herd, we were driving cattle. I was on a horse, of course, and the herd had split into two groups. And my side was wanting to go to the swamp area. You have to keep them out of there. They're a pain to get out of there. And so had this one calf, about a 400 or 500 pound calf, that kept wanting to quit the herd. Herd quitters are a problem. So I'm like, doggone it. I had to stick with the herd and keep him going in the swamp. And I'm like, Curly, sick him, get that dog. And he knew he was supposed to do something. He didn't know what, but because the herd had split, normally you train a cow dog with another cow dog and they catch right on. This is what you do. And you know, they watch the other dogs and they learn the rules. Well, he knew I wanted him to do something to that calf, but he wasn't quite sure what. And I kept saying, get him, Curly, sick him, boy, get him. See how he's responding to me? He's like, where's the cow? Anyway, so this calf's running at full run, and Curly runs at him and not quite sure what to do, but he just jumps and hits him high on the back, like at the backbone nearly, right at the juncture of the ribs and the backbone. Hits him full force and knocks that calf off balance, and that calf literally hit the ground sideways and just spinning in a circle, sliding across the meadow like that. And that became kind of a signature way, one of the things he does to hit a cow. He'll go right up on the backbone. He also likes to go to the head because he wants them to stop so he can chew on them. He can get them in a circle, bite them, and really work them over. This sounds cruel, but here's the deal. Being a cowboy, when you're moving cattle, a good dog is worth 3 or 4 cowboys, literally. You'll wear your horse out with horse quitters, trying to keep the herd moving. When you have a herd quitter, you want that dog to make it very unpleasant for that cow to be a herd quitter, and they learn to stay with the herd, and then you don't have to fight them. You just push them along. And so a cow dog is immensely valuable to a cowboy or a cattleman. And so to make this to get to a point here, this last winter, now Curly, as I've mentioned, he sticks with me no matter what. He has a hard time staying in the pickup when I'm going somewhere. He wants to go with me no matter what. So he and I were having this discussion, and he understands everything I tell you. And I've been having this discussion. I don't beat him ever. I just verbally talk to him, and he understands. So I had a cow and a newborn calf, and this cow, big horns, half longhorn, and she's been a good cow. She's never been hooky, but she lets you know you better be careful with her calf. So here's the deal. When you have a new calf, you've got to tag them, band them, whatever you got to do to them. You got to get them marked, and you do it the first day or two that they're born. Well, I kind of work by myself, so I kind of created this little corral system, whereas I'm changing them from pasture to pasture in those spring months when I'm still feeding, February, cold, whatever. And so I run them through this one little pen that I've got a big corral in there, and the mamas with the newborns are always the last ones to change the pasture. So you're waiting for them, and you catch them in the corral, and you peel the calf off right behind the cow. So now you're in this pen that's maybe 20 by 20 feet, and you walk up and grab the calf, and the mom's on the other side of the fence right there, and she can't be hitting me. So I got this calf on the ground, and she's kind of bellowing and acting ornery, and I just had the discussion with Curly. The pickup's like 50 feet away, and I just had the discussion with Curly. Stay in the pickup, stay. And he's looking at me like, do I have to? I said, stay. I'm really getting after him, stay. So he stays in the pickup. He's being a good dog. The reason he has to stay in the pickup is a canine or a dog next to a calf with your tagging just going to make the cow irate. She's just going to get stirred up, mad, want to tie into you. And so I made him stay, and he was being good. He was staying. And now I'm tagging the calf. I'm almost done. And all of a sudden, this cow decides she's had enough of this. She just gathers her feet with no warning, and she lunges over top of that fence, and now she's on me. I mean, she's on me. She hits me on the back right side, knocks me for a loop, and I'm still sore on that. Anyway, I was almost over it, but that's the story. But anyway, she hits me hard. Now, Now Curly, he's like, oh, and he knows, okay, doesn't matter. I was told to stay in the pickup. I'm helping. And in a flash, he's underneath 2 fences and jumps on top of that cow right on her back. His signature thing, jumps on her back and is biting her just like a lion would. And she, all of a sudden, she's worried about this dog that's on her back and attacking her and biting her. I'm able to finish tagging the calf, throw him under the fence, and get out of there. And Curly, meanwhile, is just keeping her busy. And then I get out and I call her, Curly, get out of there. And he comes right out. And who knows what that cow would have done to me. But she was danged on me. I got a picture I'll insert into this video of her with her calf. But yeah, that's just Curly. He's a very, very intelligent dog. Couple of things I'll tell you real quick. He's tough, like really tough. His bite is incredible. I walked 3 or 4 miles every morning. We'd walk down through the place, and of course I had a 45 with me. I'm just walking morning, getting that early vitamin D from the sun, clearing my thoughts for the day, and we come across 4 raccoons. And raccoons on a ranch, honestly, they're kind of a trouble. And there's a big male. He must have weighed 35 pounds or so. And Curly's kind of standing there looking at him like, well, am I supposed to get him or not? And I mean, they were just suddenly right there. And that male charges Curly, full bone, just at him. And Curly just kind of like, what are you doing? And he jumps in the air. And as that coon goes kind of underneath him, as Curly jumps over him, Curly reaches down and bites him on the back, right at the point of the shoulder blades. And I mean, he killed that coon instantly, just like that. That big old male coon was dead as a doornail. Just snapped his back. Curly dropped him, and then he went and grabbed another one. Well, I popped my 45 and pop, shoot the other 2. And Curly killed his 2 faster than I did mine. But he's got an incredible bite. Same thing with a rock chuck. When he catches a rock chuck, there's no, sitting there biting and rebiting. When he bites, it's just all over. That rock chuck instantly limp as a rag, just like that raccoon. And yeah, he's an incredible dog, but he's not mean at all. In fact, he'll bark and act tough if somebody comes to visit. But once he understands you're okay, he's your new best friend. He'll be sitting next to you, he's pawing you, look at you like, I'm available for petting. And he's very affectionate, loves to contact me. I got to tell you this story because you'll get a kick out of it. But I do all my writing standing up because, as everybody knows, sitting is really not good for you. So I do all my writing standing up, and I'll let him in my office, and he'll come in and get petted a minute, and then he lays down at my feet, and he loves to just be touching me. He loves to just, like he knows, okay, I got to work, and so he'll go to sleep, and he'll stiff arm me very firmly with a paw, and he just has it on my leg, just like that, and he'll fall asleep. Well, I can't stand in one position all day. You got to bend and move the legs and whatever. At some point, I break that contact, and you watch him when I do, and he'll be just completely sleeping, and all of a sudden, he'll take about 4 or 5 deep breaths, and he'll wake up, and he'll look up at me with one eye, make sure I'm still there, and then he'll slide over what he's got to do to make contact again, and then he goes right back to sleep. It's the funniest thing, but so you could say there's actually a debate on ownership on him. I told my vet one day how he had followed me 3 days in a row when I poured milk, and he said, so really he chose you, didn't he? And I said, yeah. So I kind of think Curly thinks he owns me. I think that's how it works, huh, Curly? Yeah, so anyway, that's my cow dog, Curly. He's also tough as nails. He's fast, but I'll go up and ride the mountain on a horse a day and spend, go 20 miles or whatever, and come back, jump on a 4-wheeler to go irrigating, and the whole time I'm riding, he's just circling, catching ground squirrels, smelling things, working cattle, whatever you're doing, get back, and he's still just as lively as the day. I mean, as fresh as if it was morning. Fire up a 4-wheeler, buzz down to the hayfield to irrigate, whatever, and he's going 100 miles an hour with you. And I remember one time I was riding the mountain, Council Mountain actually. We were checking cattle and so on, and there's lots of fruit trees, natural wild fruit trees, and on Council Mountain it's a pine tree area, but it's lots of natural fruit trees, tons and tons of bears. And anyway, we jumped a bear at real close range one day, and man, he took off after that bear and made sure that bear was not going to get me. And but yeah, he's an incredibly fun dog. He's come on, get up here. Let everybody see you, Curly. Oh, you're not shy. You okay? Huh? You okay? He can use his hands like, or his paws like people do hands. He does things with them you wouldn't believe, because most dogs don't do that. But there's my dog Curly. So hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Pierce Brothers.